Okay, so for example here. Here are the directions say find all the real roots. Find all of the real roots. I don't want imaginary numbers, okay? I just want real answers. Okay? How many answers will this one have? 1, because it's an odd root. So 1 answer, 1 answer, 1 answer, 1 answer, right? All the odd roots will only have 1 answer. How about right here? Square root of 64. How many answers?
2.
2, because it's an even root of a positive number. Even root of a positive number, 2 answers. How about right here? 0, none. Because it's an even root of a negative number. How about right here? 2, because it's an even root of a positive number. Okay? Even roots of positives, 2 answers. Even roots of negatives, no real answers. Everything else is going to have 1. Okay? Now, some of you might use calculators here. Some of you might not know how to use a calculator on this stuff yet, especially some of the bigger roots, and I'll teach you how to do that. Some of you should be able to do about all, no, I should take that back. Some of you could probably do a lot of these in your head minus this one, potentially. You could probably guess and check it enough, okay? But it's okay if you use a calculator. Cube root of negative 64. You said there was 1 answer. What is it?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Because negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 equals negative 64. So only 1 answer, negative 4. Okay. What are all of the square roots of 64? 8 and negative 8. Okay? 8 and negative 8, or plus or minus 8. What are all of the real 6th roots of negative 64?
None.
None. There are none. Okay? There are no real roots, real 6th roots of negative 64. So none. 7th root of 0? 0. It's the only answer, 0. All the 4th roots of 81. 4th roots of 81.
3.
Positive or negative? 3. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is also 81. So positive or negative 3. 2 answers there. 5th root of 100 grand. 10. Yep. You can tell because how many zeros does it have? 5. Okay. And there's only 1 answer because it's an odd root. Okay? 5th root of 16,807. Who would not know how to type this into their calculator? Decent number of you. Fine. That's what I want to show you then. Okay? There is a way to type in essentially a 5th root of something. I think it's inconvenient. I'll show you how anyway. Okay? But if you hit your math button, it's kind of up here in the top left. If you hit your math button, the 5th one down looks like this. On a graphing calculator, if you hit your math button, the 5th one down after you hit your math button looks like this. So really what you have to do, if you're trying to do the 5th root of 16,807, you actually have to type in the number 5 first, then go to math and select this, and then type in the number that's underneath the radical and press enter. 7. Okay? To me, it's a real pain in the butt. I'll show you a better way here in a second. Okay? So everybody get that? that wanted it. I'll show you a better way though here I think you'll all use instead.
Answer 7.
The answer is 7, yep. Yep. Okay, so the answer to that is 7, and that's the only answer, right?
Yep.
Because it's an odd root. Okay? Alright, so 7 then. Those of you maybe using phones or a different calculator, you might have a key that looks like this on your calculator. Those of you using your phone or using a different calculator might have a key that looks like this. That is the key that you would use. Okay? You'd have to type in your 5, hit this button, and then type in the 16,807. Okay? Now, I would not, the way I just showed you to do that, I would not do that this way. Too many keys, gotta change screens, gotta worry about the order, okay? I would instead use fractional exponents, okay? Because the square root of a number is exactly the same thing as that number raised to the 1/2 power. The cube root of a number is the same thing as 27 to the 1/3. The fourth root of a number is that number raised to the 1/4 power. The fifth root of some number is that number raised to the 1/5 power. This is how I would find the fifth root of 16,807. Because I would just type in 16,807 raised to the parentheses 1/5 power. I think it's faster. It's just me personally, just because I don't like switching screens. Okay? I would instead just raise it to the 1/5 power. So in summary, if you have the nth root of some number, you could instead just take that number and raise it to the 1/n power. So if I ask you for the 7th root, you take it to the 1/7 power. Okay? 10th root, raise it to the 1/10 power. I think that's a lot faster to do instead of using the math button and going to a different screen. A lot of times when I do that, I probably forget to type in the type of root first, so then I have to go back anyway, type the number in, then go back and type the x root.
How do you do 1/5? Isn't it
1 divided by 5, yep.
1 I got a weird.
Did you put parentheses around the fraction? That's why. Yep. Anytime you're using fractions on those graphing calculators, make sure you put parentheses around that fraction. So yeah, so I type in 1,607 raised to that little caret key, and then parentheses 1 divided by 5 parentheses, and you'll get your 7 answer. Okay? Anybody else questions on calculator usage when it comes to that? Speak up if there is, okay? Now you got to be careful. If I ask you for all of the square roots of 49, all of the square roots of 49, how many answers are there? 2. Does your calculator give you both of them?
Nope.
No, it only gives you the positive one. You got to remember there are 2 of them because you're taking an even root of a positive number. Okay? This would have 2, this would have 1, 2, 1. Okay? When they ask you for all of the real roots. Okay? Oh, and a little add-on to that rule. So if the nth root of a is a to the 1/n power, the nth root of a to the m would be a to the m/n power. The type of root is always the bottom of the fraction. The type of root is always the bottom of the fraction. The type of root is always the bottom of the fraction. Okay? Questions? Anybody? Some people are writing down some last of the rules here. Any questions at all? Some of you are having? So the fourth root of 81, could be written as what raised to what power? 81 raised to the 1/4 power. Okay? This is a skill you're going to have to be able to do, guys. Change from radical to rational exponent. Radical to fractional exponent. Okay? Cube root of x would be what?
X to
the
1/3.
1/3 power. X to the 1/3 power. Because remember, the type of root is always the bottom of the fraction. The type of root is always the bottom of the fraction. So let's go the other way. X to the 4/5 power could be written how using radicals? Dakota, take a shot.
It's like, well, 5, and then the thing, x to the 5th. No. Yeah, x, so 4, yeah, 4, yeah.
So how would we say that?
5 root x
Fifth.
to the 4th.
Fifth root of x to the 4th. Yep. Fifth root of x to the 4th. Okay? The fifth root of x to the 4th. And then one more. How about this one down here? Cube root of 27 squared. The third root of 27 to the 2nd power. Okay? The cube root of 27 squared. Evaluate this. Pick your method. Tell me the answer to this bottom one down here. (27 to the 2/3 power, a cube root of 27 squared).
9.
9? Everybody getting 9? Okay, how'd you do it? Fractional exponents or radical?
Fraction.
Fractional exponents. I think that's faster. Okay? Alright. Also, those of you mental math people, you should get this. What would 27 to the 1/3 power be? 27 to the 1/3 power
3.
would be 3. Because a 1/3 power is really a cube root, right? And what is the cube root of 27?
3.
3. So if 27 to the 1/3 power is 3, 27 to the 2/3 power would be 3 times 3, or 9. 27 to the 3/3 power
27.
is 27, because that's like saying 27 to the 1st, right? Right? So don't be afraid of those fractional exponents. Some of them can be quite simple. You know, 16 to the 1/2 power. What's 16 to the 1/2 power? 4, because, yeah, and a 1/2 power really means to do what? Square root.
Square.
1/2 power means square root. Okay? So, the fractional powers, don't make them tougher than what they need to be. Okay?
You're at 14 minutes.
14,
Yeah.
better pause it.